All right, buckle up, history buffs and truth seekers. Get ready to dive deep into a place shrouded in secrecy, a name that sparks intense debate and raises profound questions about justice and security. This week, we're taking you on a trip to a place that's as beautiful as it is controversial. Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. This slice of paradise, leased by the United States for over a century, has become synonymous with the post-9/11 war on terror. But behind the idyllic beaches and turquoise waters lies a complex and troubling history. Guantanamo Bay's transformation into a symbol of indefinite detention and alleged human rights abuses began in the aftermath of the September 11th attacks. The Bush administration, reeling from the tragedy and determined to prevent future attacks, sought a place to hold and interrogate suspected terrorists. They found it in Guantanamo, a location they believed existed in a legal gray area beyond the reach of U.S. courts. The facility, quickly constructed and shrouded in secrecy, became a lightning rod for controversy. Human rights groups, legal scholars, and foreign governments questioned the legality of holding individuals indefinitely without trial and the methods used to extract information from them. Join us as we unpack the history, controversies, and enduring legacy of this notorious detention camp. In the wake of 9/11, fear and anger gripped America. The Bush administration vowed to hunt down those responsible and prevent future attacks. Guantanamo Bay, they argued, was the perfect solution, a place to hold the worst of the worst while keeping America safe. The facility, established in 2002, was designed to house individuals suspected of involvement in terrorism. These detainees, captured in Afghanistan, Pakistan, and other countries, were deemed enemy combatants, a designation that placed them outside the traditional legal framework afforded to prisoners of war or criminal suspects. By holding these individuals at Guantanamo, the United States could interrogate them without the constraints of domestic law or international treaties. The number of detainees at Guantanamo peaked at nearly 800 in the early 2000s. Many of these individuals were held for years without charge or trial, their fate hanging in the balance. As the years passed, disturbing reports began to emerge from Guantanamo Bay. Human rights groups, lawyers representing detainees, and even former guards and interrogators painted a grim picture of life inside the detention camp. Allegations of torture, abuse, and inhumane treatment became synonymous with Guantanamo's name. One of the most controversial aspects of Guantanamo was the use of enhanced interrogation techniques, a euphemism for torture. These techniques, authorized by the Bush administration, included waterboarding, sleep deprivation, stress positions, and exposure to extreme temperatures. Medical professionals were reportedly complicit in these abuses, monitoring detainees' physical and psychological deterioration to ensure interrogations could continue. The International Committee of the Red Cross, granted access to Guantanamo in 2004, expressed serious concerns about the treatment of detainees. The use of torture at Guantanamo sparked international outrage and condemnation. The moral and ethical implications of these practices continue to haunt America's reputation on the world stage. The legal battle over Guantanamo Bay began almost as soon as the first detainees arrived. Human rights lawyers, challenging the legality of indefinite detention without trial, filed a series of lawsuits on behalf of their clients. These legal challenges, winding their way through the U.S. court system, culminated in several landmark Supreme Court cases. In 2004, the Supreme Court ruled in Rasul versus Bush that detainees at Guantanamo Bay had the right to challenge their detention in U.S. courts. This landmark decision, a major setback for the Bush administration, affirmed that the legal principle of habeas corpus, the right to appear before a judge and challenged the legality of one's detention, extended even to those held at Guantanamo. Another crucial case, Boumediene versus Bush in 2008, further solidified the rights of detainees. The Supreme Court ruled that the Military Commissions Act of 2006, which sought to strip detainees of their right to habeas corpus, was unconstitutional. This decision affirmed that detainees had the right to a fair trial and could not be held indefinitely without due process. These legal victories, while significant, did not result in the closure of Guantanamo Bay. The Obama administration, while pledging to shut down the facility, faced stiff opposition from Congress and struggled to find countries willing to accept the remaining detainees. The legal and political complexities surrounding Guantanamo ensured its continued existence, albeit with some reforms to detention conditions and military commission procedures. Trump and the Migrant Detention Plan. In 2016, a new chapter began in Guantanamo's controversial history. Donald Trump, during his presidential campaign, pledged to load up the detention camp with bad dudes. While his focus initially remained on terrorism suspects, Trump's attention soon turned to another group, migrants. Facing a surge in migration at the southern border, the Trump administration implemented a series of hardline policies aimed at deterring and punishing those seeking asylum in the United States. One of the most controversial proposals involved using Guantanamo Bay as a detention center for migrants. The Trump administration argued that existing detention facilities were overcrowded, and that Guantanamo's remote location and secure facilities made it an ideal solution. This proposal, a significant departure from Guantanamo's original purpose, sparked outrage and condemnation from human rights groups, legal experts, and even some members of Trump's own party. While the Trump administration never fully implemented its plan to detain migrants at Guantanamo, the proposal itself cast a long shadow over the facility's future. The current state of the prison. As of 2025, Guantanamo Bay remains open, a stark reminder of the unresolved legacy of the War on Terror. The number of detainees has dwindled to a fraction of its peak, with only 15 individuals still held at the facility. The Biden administration, while expressing a desire to close Guantanamo, it failed to do so. The political challenges remain daunting, with Congress reluctant to authorize the transfer of detainees to U.S. soil, and many countries unwilling to accept them. Some detainees have been cleared for release, but remain imprisoned due to a lack of a safe place to send them. Others continue to face military commissions, with trials delayed for years due to legal challenges and the complex nature of the proceedings. Guantanamo Bay, once a symbol of America's response to terrorism, has become a symbol of the country's struggle to reconcile its values with its actions. The facility's continued existence raises profound questions about the limits of executive power, the balance between security and liberty, and the enduring legacy of the post-9/11 era. A divided nation, public and political reactions. The use of Guantanamo Bay for detention and interrogation has consistently divided public opinion in the United States and around the world. While some argue that the facility is a necessary tool in the fight against terrorism, others view it as a stain on America's moral standing and a violation of fundamental human rights. Supporters of Guantanamo Bay argue that it serves a vital national security purpose. They maintain that holding and interrogating suspected terrorists at the facility helps to prevent future attacks and keeps America safe. Opponents of Guantanamo Bay, on the other hand, argue that the facility is a legal and moral abomination. The debate over Guantanamo Bay reflects a broader societal divide over the balance between security and liberty in the post-9/11 era. It also highlights the challenges of upholding human rights and the rule of law in the face of perceived threats. Personal stories from the line. Beyond the legal battles and political debates, it's crucial to remember that Guantanamo Bay's story is ultimately about human lives. Behind the barbed wire fences and watchtowers are individuals who have endured unimaginable hardship, both as detainees and as the families of those imprisoned. Take the story of Mohamedou Ould Slahi, a Mauritanian man detained at Guantanamo Bay for 14 years without charge. Slahi, accused of involvement in the 9/11 attacks, was subjected to torture, sleep deprivation, and other forms of abuse. Despite the lack of evidence against him, Slahi remained imprisoned until his release in 2016. His memoir, Guantanamo Diary, provides a harrowing account of his ordeal and a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. By sharing these personal stories, we hope to humanize the impact of Guantanamo Bay and remind viewers that this issue is not just about abstract legal principles, but about real people whose lives have been forever altered by their experiences. Guantanamo's legacy. As we stand here in 2025, the future of Guantanamo Bay remains uncertain. The facility, once a symbol of America's post-9/11 resolve, has become a lightning rod for controversy and a stain on the country's reputation. The question remains, what will become of Guantanamo Bay? The Trump administration faces a difficult choice: continue to operate Guantanamo at a reduced capacity, close the facility, and transfer the remaining detainees to the U.S. mainland, or find a third way forward. Guantanamo Bay serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of sacrificing our values in the name of security. As we move forward, we must learn from the mistakes of the past and ensure that Guantanamo's legacy does not define America's future. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And if you're ready to dive deeper into history, check out our next video. Thank you for watching.